Hey, all you sinners, welcome back. As promised, I have uploaded the fourth and final video of today. As you all may know, recently I got a copyright claim for some reason. I don't know. Someone probably, because, random. I don't know what's up with all the YouTube copyright claim systems. They be, like, taking down actual uncopyrighted material. Like, people would do that shit. So, for this fanfiction, this will be just my voice, since everyone loves copyright claiming smaller artists who are trying to do shit. So, there will be no music, because my lazy ass can't find copyrighted claimed music for this special occasion. Like, every time I try to do something with my channel, it just gets shut down, or even worse, claimed. This fanfiction, as promised, this fanfiction is 3,115 words. This fanfiction is the longest, probably going to be the longest read ever, and expect some laughter from me because my mom is in the next room over, and I don't think she knows that she knows I write smut fan fictions, but reading these out loud, you can sometimes hear me visibly trying to hold in laughter because of how outrageous I do. Normally, I'm a big girl myself, and I make a lot of noises when I do my own adult activities. But doing it, pretending to do it for a video is kind of awkward because you're just standing there making noises. I know there's people who make voiceovers on the site that is forbidden site that the orange site we don't talk about on YouTube. They make their own voiceovers and they use special effects. But for me, I try to prefer to keep it raw. As a fair warning, Skids, there's a common headcanon for Skids that he speaks in a what's the word? What am I looking for? He speaks in a Scottish accent, and I don't know how to do a mean one. I wrote out a Scottish accent for him, but I can't speak it. Originally, I sent this to RR. I was hoping he would read it, but since it's deleted, I have to do it myself. So this video will be very, very, very long, hopefully, because of how long this fanfiction chapter itself is. So to get this fanfiction out and not out by tomorrow, because it's 12 a.m. is coming shortly up, I'll be reading this out quickly. Okay. Love Has No Bounds. Broken Faith by Broken Faith, aka me. Chapter 3. 4 alphas and an omega. Summary. Rose has yet to get used to being the omega of 4 alphas, but the surrounding encounter might have brought the 5 of them closer. Rating E. Notes. This chapter has notes, so you gotta see the end of the chapter for notes. Most omegas have 1 alpha. Some weren't even lucky to get one. But 1 omega got 4. This particular omega was Rose. Zay had a very strong scent. Naturally, scents like these attracted an alpha that triggered their ruts, but seeing as the scent affected not 1 but 4 alphas, this caused them to fight over this particular omega. Strong scented omegas were rare, as most if not majority of the omegas preferred to keep their scent masks as a precaution to protect them at the time. All 4 of Rose's alphas would surround Rose and growl at any other mech set or alphas that would approach her. Hey, checked your pheromones are wafted. It must be that time of month, isn't it? Skids winked. Rose blushed bright blue. Rose noticed Skid's pheromones were very, very strong and dominating presenting. Rose could tell he was an alpha. Rose couldn't tell him that they were already taken. Skids leaned into Rose. Are you marked yet? If not, I'd like to mark you a submissive breedable omega like yourself. What the fuck? There's not many omegas that have their scent out in the open like this, Skid said, leaning into Rose. Rose blushed. The worst part about being in a marked omega is that alphas would come and go as they pleased. Rose's faceplates were starting to become bright red. Rose couldn't tell Skids that they were already claimed by 4 alphas. A servo was placed on Skid's shoulder. Something the matter? Said the voice. Skids looked up to bemouthed Cup. Alright, Cup, what do you need? And can you get your servo off my shoulder? It was clear that Skids was starting to get nervous. Do you know it's disrespectful for going after a spoken for omega? Cup asked. Skids raised his eyebrow at him. What do you mean about spoken for? This omega doesn't clearly have markings on her, Zer, and any unmarked alphas are free game for any alphas that reek the heat of an omega, especially since this one's is one of the few Omegas to have a pure, tough reek. Skid said with a smirk. Kip tightened his grip on his shoulder. You listen here. We may have not claimed Zer, but once we do, we will not allow another alpha to touch our Omega, Cup snarls. What do you mean we? You're just one alpha, Skids pointed out. You may think there's one, but there's 3 other alphas, Cup said, and Rodimus is one of them, Cup leaned into Skid's audios. And you don't want to peep off the alphiest of the alphas now, don't you? Cup said, squeezing light tighter. Especially the captain and commander of this vessel. Skid sputters out. Cup pulled away. Come now, Rose, Cup said. I swear to God, if this fanfiction's gonna become a meme, I'm going to fucking lose it. Rose nods and walked with Cup. Skids muttered under his breath. Rose and Cup arrived back to their habsuit. Cup turned to face Rose. Get some rest, okay? Me and the other 3 would be there in a few. Cup placed a kiss on their forehelm. Rose left his Cup side and walked towards the room where the other 3 was. Cup kissed the 3 on the lips inside. Alright, what seems to be the issue, Cup? Rodimus asked. Well, we have to mark Rose as our own. Skids tried to advance on Rose, and you know Omegas are extremely submissive. If it wasn't for me stepping in, we would have lost her, Cup said. But what do you mean? Cup, Rodimus asked angrily. He got up and slammed his servo on the table in anger, which caused Rung and Swerve to move their helms in his directions in surprise. Rodimus, sweet spark, Cup started. No! Does any of these other fucking alphas know not to try to claim my? He looked at the other 3 before continuing. Our Omega? Sure, we didn't claim Rose yet, but for fuck's sake, it's at least common decency to assume all Omegas, to some extent, are claimed. We may have not claimed her yet, but we're on our way slowly. Does anyone have any shame? Rodimus was fuming. Rodimus was the top alpha on the Lost Light and was reasonably mad about this. Other alphas knew that he was a force to be reckoned with on bad days and sometimes on good days. Omegas thrown themselves at him. Alphas want to be him. Betas could dream of being him. At the end of the day, he chose Rose as his one and only Omega and had 3 other alphas to love. He wouldn't trade this for the world. And for an alpha to try to claim Rose? The audacity! Rodimus was angered about it. Being top alpha and all, he was bound to be extremely possessive. So much so that Rung placed the servo on the fuming alpha's shoulder and eased him down to have a seat, to which Rodimus complied. There we go, now take deep breaths. Rung instructed, kissing Rodimus on the lips and rubbing circles on the alpha's back plate, to which the bot did as instructed. Thank you, Rung. Cup cured his intake. As I was saying, instead of waiting any longer, we should commence with the marking ritual. I know we've wanted to wait until we were certain we wanted to keep Rose, but after all, Rose is my final decision, Cup said. As do I. I harbor more feelings for her. I am willing to continue the claiming ritual, Swerve said. Rung said nothing but nodded. Rodimus placed the servers in his helmet sides. I do to wish gently. I do wish to genuinely claim Rose for real, and so I agree. After the final confirmation, the Quio decided to walk in their habsuit, noticing the sleeping Rose. Rose's pheromones were wafting much stronger, causing all 4 of them to enter a rut. The 4 alphas tensed up with how intense the smell was. It was enticing to smell, and they wanted to douse themselves in the scent. So, what are we going to do? Should we wake up Zer? Swerve asked. Rodimus sighed. We have no choice but to. I'll wake Zer up. Rodimus walked up to Rose and gently shook the Cybertronian awake. Upon waking up, the Omegas was greeted with all 4 of Zer alphas. Rose rubbed Zer optics. Hello, is there something you need? Rose asked. Yes, as a matter of fact, it's you, Swerve said. Huh? Rose responds confused. By that, he's meaning he wants to claim you, along with us, Cup said. Claim? You mean... Rose asked. Cup nods. Yes, we want to claim you. We've been wanting to claim you for a while now, but we all wanted to make sure we all want this, Cup explained and looked towards Rose. I felt the same way for a while now, Rose said and blushed, looking away. We're glad you share the same sentiment, Rung said. So how will this work, Cup asked. Let's start. I want to get us started. I don't want to lose Rose to some other alpha. You know how valuable Omega is to the top alpha is, right? Rodimus asked. Yes, we do. Now, would you like to go first? Cup asked. Of course, Rodimus said. The other 3 stepped back. Rung went to kiss Cup as the 2 made out. Rodimus popped open his panel. His spike wasn't out just yet. Rose speds opens her valve. Swerve, would you prep Rose's valve for me to use? Rodimus requests. The bot's optics lit up. Really? Swerve asked. Yes, I need you to prep Zer valve. Rodimus said. It'll be my honor, Swerve said. Swerve never had an Omega, but this is the first time. He tentatively approached Rose's valve and gently rubbed it. Rose let out a moan gently. Rose, can you make that noise again? Swerve asked. Yes, Rose said. Swerve placed his tongue on Zervalve. Rose gasped out. Swerve continued to lick Zervalve. Rose gasped out with moans. At the current moment, Cup was finished with his make-out session with Rung and turned to watch the three whipping out their spikes. It's a Swerve! Rose gasped out again as he then dipped his tongue further into Rose's valve. Swerve continues to eat out Rose's valve. Swerve gasped as he felt Rose's trans fluid everywhere and it went on his faceplates. He pulled away to see the leaking valve wet with Roses in his liquid. He pulled away, shuddering. Alright, thank you, Rodimus said impatiently. He was always the type to be impatient. He stuck his spike inside. Rose gasped out. Fuck, you're so... Oh, you're so tight. All Omegas are tight, but you specifically are so tight, Rodimus whispered in their audio. God damn it, what is wrong with me? I'm getting flustered already. I'm not getting flustered. I'm not getting flustered. Okay, back to the story. Yes, my alpha, Rose whispered back. Finally, Rodimus went much faster, hitting Zervalve. He lets out several moans, slamming into Rose and grunting. You're so... fuck, why are you so tight? Fuck, you're so... fuck, Rodimus gasped out and slammed much harder and faster. Yes, I'm your Omega. What the fuck? My dogs are barking. I mean, cut that out. Rose gasped out. The other three watched stroking their spikes while Rose gasped. Rodimus was edging closer to his release, gasping out. Rose, I'm getting close. I want to spill my juices all over. And inside you, he growls. I'm close too, Rose gasped out. Do it. Mark me. Do it all over me. Make me yours, Rodimus growled. Rose moans loudly, overloading all over Rodimus's crotch area. Fuck. He yelled at his pounding, gradually stopping as he slowly became closer to the edge. He found the same inside Rose, their sexes tying together, effectively knotting inside Rose. Rodimus arched his back, moaning loudly. He overloaded inside Rose deep. I love you, Rodimus gasped out, trying to catch his breath. I love you too, Rose said. Rodimus paints. He slowly stayed put inside of Rose. Eventually, he gently pulled out of Rose. Who wants to go next? Rodimus asked. His spike was drooping down. I'd like to go next, Rung said, gently stepping forward. Alright. What the fuck? Rodimus waved his servo forward to Rose. I think I meant Rung on this part, but I just kind of goofed. Rung walked up towards Rose and kisses Rose straight on the lips. I love you, Rung said. He gently placed a spike inside of Rose. There was a squelch noise due to Rodimus's aforementioned overload. Oh dear, you're so tight, Rung gasped out. Still tight after our frags are. Most tightest Omega I ever had the pleasure to frag, Rodimus purred. Ooh, Rung paints. Rung was in a mech to go too hard but goes fast enough to pleasure his partner right now. He was going at a steady pace and making sure to please her. Oh dear, Rung couldn't finish his sentence. Rose moans and had her gloss out. Can you go faster, Rose requested. Of course, Rung said. Rose gasped. Rung slid his spike back and forth inside of Rose at a much faster pace. His spike was being engulfed by Rose's ball, which milked Rung's spike. He finished gasping. Oh, frag, you're so tight. I feel like I want to overload, Rung mentions. Go ahead, Rose mutters, gasping. Rung went much harder and faster. Rose gasped and Rose felt Rung's servo on her chin and gave a hard kiss on Rose's lips. They were making out. Rung continued to go fast as he could. Finally, Rung gasped and both of their sexes tied together, efficiently knotting inside of Rose. But due to Rose having Rodimus's transfluid inside of her, at this point Rung's transfluid made her tank slightly bloated. Rung stayed there for a while, kissing Rose. He pulled out gently and smiled. I love you, Rose. I love you too, Rung. Rose smiled back. Swerve, you want to go next? Cup offers. Oh, no. I went first to prep Zerbal. We should go next. Swerve blushed. Cup took his cigar out to give a kiss on Swerve's dermos. Swerve returned to kiss and they pulled away. Cup returned towards the berth. Hey, Rose, how are you? You enjoyed the other two? Cup said, smiling, caressing Rose's chin. The other servo holding a cigar. Yes, Rose blushed. You have enough stand-up modes for two more? Cup asked. Of course, Rose said. Rodimus snickers. You two compliment each other. So old-fashioned, Cup. Imagine if this fanfiction, the whole fanfiction is gonna become a Friday Night Funkin' mod. I can't imagine that. Like, I cannot imagine it. Cup growls. So what? I may be old, but I can trade an Omega much better. Rodimus snaps out, looking towards Cup with a glare. Cup looks away with a scoff and turned to face Rose with a soft, gentle smile. Rose, would you like for me to go hard or soft? Cup asked with a smile. It doesn't really matter. I don't mind whichever option you choose, Rose said. Alright, I'll go soft, and if you want, I can go hard, Cup said, caressing Rose's cheek, still holding on to his cigar in the other. Of course, Rose said. Just let me know when you're ready, Cup said. He then reaches over towards the bedside table, pulling out a bottle of Cybertronian lube. He saw there's a spike in the lube. Okay, Rose said. I'm ready. Cup smiled and slid in gently. More squelching noises were heard. Cup let out a huff about how fool how Rose was. Fuck, you're so tight and fucking fool, Cup groans out. Thanks to me and Rung, Rodimus said smugly. Cup growled. Shut up, Rodimus, he snaps. Cup huffs and tried to run inside a Rose's stuffed ball. Fuck. Fuck, Cup heaves. Are you okay, Rose asked. Yes, it's just that you're a fool. I suppose it is hard to navigate through inside, Cup groans. Do you need some time? Rose asked. No, I can manage. This is extra lube for me, Cup huffs, trying to move around in Rose's ball. Eventually moving inside of Rose's ball without issue. Cup continued moving around, huffing and placing a digit on Rose's anterior node and rubbing it. Rose's optics twist in pleasure. Rodimus fumes in anger that he didn't think about that. Rung, noticing the anger coming from Rodimus, tried to distract him by a kiss on the lips, so the two ended up kissing. Cup moves a bit, rubbing Rose's node with one digit. Rose lets out soft moans. Cup finally goes inside of Rose much deeper, huffing still. He continues to run inside of Rose. Oh fuck, I love you, Cup murmurs. Rose smiled. I love you too, Rose said, smiling. Cup continued to run inside Rose. Rose moans, a breath slamming against the wall. By now, Cup was pounding into Rose, speeding up. He was going hard, going hard and very fast. He was huffing and panting. Fuck, you're so big, Rose moaned. Cup chuckles. Rodimus heard this and growled. Did the kiss with Rung. I think I meant to put a duh there because this fanfiction, if you don't know, it's a bit not proofread because of how fast I was writing, and I was half tired when I published it, if I remember correctly. Rose's combo was shushed by Rung. Cup continued to pound inside Rose at a steady pace. Even though he was old, he did have pretty good stamina. Cup huffs and gives all kisses on Rose's neck, chest, and forearm. He moans. I'm going to overload soon, Cup warns. Yes, please, I want all of you, Rose canes. Okay, Cup huffs. He slammed inside of Rose. Feelings are involved, milking his spike thrust after thrust. Slick noises echoed. Rose gasped. Oh, for fuck, I'm gonna. Oh. Overload, Rose yells out. For fuck, me too, Cup moans out. He takes a cigar out of his mouth and leans into the Rose and gave a kiss on her lips. Oh fuck, Rose paints, gasping out, and Cup sucks on her neck, slamming harder and faster. Fuck, Cup screams out, slamming harder and faster before overloading harder inside of Rose. Turquoise transfluid coating the inside of Rose's already stuffed valve. Spillage spilled out of Rose's valve and coated the berth. Rose soon herself overloaded after Cup. Rose pants and Cup pants as well, his spike drooping slightly. Placing his spike away, he pulled away and smoked his cigar. He chuckles and gave her a kiss to Zer on her helm. Swerve, you're up, Cup calls. Coming, Swerve said. He came up to Rose and caresses her face. Hello, Rosie, Swerve said gently. Hey, Swerve, they painted. Do you have enough energy for one more? Swerve asked. Rose replied. Great. Swerve took his panel off and his wide, decent spike came out. Are you sure it'll fit? Rose asked. Swerve chuckles. Yes, of course it'll fit, Swerve said. He slowly shoved his spike inside of Rose. Rose gasped. Usually the other three would have made her hole much bigger for Swerve's size. But unfortunately, Rose is unable to get used to this size. They were what we call essentially tight Omega. Perfect for any alpha. That meant that Rose was unfortunately subjected to the disadvantage of being tight constantly. Rose didn't mind because they were able to pleasure their alphas, but really, things like this left Zer in pain. Swerve then slowly moved around in Rose's stuffed ball. Rose gasped out in pain, gritting Zer gentas. Swerve felt bad for harming Zer, so tried to move slowly in Zer ball. I'm sorry, Rose. I'm trying my best here, Swerve whispers. I understand. You can go faster, Rose gulped in pain. Swerve went much faster. Rose gasped out. Swerve slammed into Rose's ball. I must have did a good job in making you wet, didn't I? Swerve asked. Rose moans. I'll take that as a yes, Swerve grunted. Rose gasped as Swerve pounded into Zer. Rose gasped and groaned. The other bots were watching, Cup in amazement, while Rodimus was taking notes. Rung was smiling. I'm going to overload. I feel it soon. Swerve was always quick to overload. Rose didn't mind as they excused the behavior, as this was Swerve's first time. Rose gasped, holding on to the birth before moaning. The immediate orgasm. Rose's final orgasm ensued, caused Rose to overload Swerve all over his frame and onto the berth. Swerve overloaded into Rose herself and gasped. He painted, laying on Rose in pleasure. Swerve laid on top of Rose, and the two painted. Swerve's overload seeped out of Rose's vulva and dripped on the bottle on the berth. The other three cuddled with the two, and each of them marked Rose on their neck. Rose paints and held them close. Rodimus chuckles. I guess we have to look forward to pups in the future, huh? Rodimus asked. I suppose, Cub said. Rose paints. I am fertile after all, so let's wait and see, Rose pointed out. The others smiled and fell asleep in a big cuddle pile. Notes. I worked on this for a week and occasionally came back to finish it. So here it is. Finished with 3,115 words. One of my first ever Omegaverse one-shots. One day I will actually write a fully fledged fanfiction about this. If anyone is interested, I could write one about the main four. I don't know much about Omegaverse, but hopefully this will do. And that is the last and fourth video of today. As you can see, I kind of goofed on this one. I had stuttered issues. I laughed a bit. Most of it was just a disbelief of what the fuck was I reading. But if you don't know anything, there are some brief pauses where I'm doing a new thing where I basically interject with my thoughts on it. Because usually narrators don't technically interject with their thoughts. They don't usually bring their thoughts because they're focusing on reading the whole story before saying their thoughts. But I usually don't. I usually have to explain myself at every single chance I get. But today, this one was a little bit ambitious because this one is. I don't know how to explain, but it was fucking wild. So thanks for watching. Be sure to join my Discord server and Ophelia's Discord server in the link below, 17+. In my Discord server, you can suggest fan fictions for me to read, and I can read them. Most certainly, I would read all the fan fictions. I will try to at least read all the fan fictions that you post throughout in the server. Every Friday, I will dedicate it to reading 2 fan fictions from user submitted stories. Those will be called Fanfiction Fridays, where I read user submitted stories, just 2. And occasionally I will read outside of my self ships. I will read fan fictions outside of the self ships as well, but usually I focus on them. So hopefully next time when I read, hopefully I'll record videos on my computer now. So enjoy this and have a nice day, and remember to stay safe and positive in trying times like these. See you later. Bye guys.